Her creators dreamed of a ship that would make history as the largest, most luxurious, and safest vessel afloat. The world proclaimed her construction as proof of mankind's near-divine domination over nature. She was the largest ship in the world, designed to be the epitome of style, luxury, and safety. Her passengers included the world's most famous celebrities. But 4 days into her maiden voyage, she would face a disaster so terrible it would shatter the faith of an age. She was the legendary RMS Titanic.
There was peace, and the world had an even tenor to its way.
Would you pass the tea? Did you see the design of the venue? It's marvelous, isn't it?
I just like the handsome gentleman.
It seems to me that the disaster about to occur was the event that not only made the world rub its eyes and awake, but woke it with a start. To my mind, the world of today awoke April 15th, 1912. Jack Thayer, Titanic survivor.
Titanic was a triumph for Belfast and a tragedy for the world. For 100 years, the story of the most famous ship ever has intrigued and entranced. But the tale would never have had a beginning if it weren't for one extraordinary family. Lord Peary, who dreamt up Titanic, and his nephew, naval architect Thomas Andrews, who designed her.
Thomas Andrews' passion for shipbuilding was soon matched by his love for Helen Riley Barbour, the daughter of another linen factory dynasty.
Attended a Christmas party with my girlfriends. And Eunice, as you know, at these parties, we are not to let our interest in gentlemen known. They would not be proper, his mother would say. And at this party, I met two fine gentlemen, Thomas Andrews Jr. and Henry Harland. I recall it as yesterday. And I tell you, I found nothing wrong with having the interest of two gentlemen. But Mother begged to differ.
Thomas told me you were quite a flirt.
Yes, indeed, indeed. As time went by and both gentlemen were courting me, Mother had said, Nellie, until you decide which gentleman who will court you, I shall lock you in your room upstairs at Conway. Can you imagine? Until I decided. Well, the decision was easy. Thomas Andrews Jr., of course. The times he would come over to Mother's to see me. Well, as you know, the garden's there. Not too far from the home, you can go about with bushes, as I said, as high as 9-10 feet tall, and no one should see you. There we would steal a kiss, and he would sing to me, "Let me call you sweetheart." When he would come over to Mother's, and he would sing to me, I had it quite timed, if you will, as I knew within a short period of time, moments, Mother would send the gardener out to see if her Nellie should need anything. Of course, only to see what we were doing. So I assure you, if you ever were to take a walk with Edward, be aware, the gardener would come out in a short period of time.
Vera Morrison can reveal for the first time wonderful memories and stories about the woman who captured not only the heart of Thomas Andrews, but also her father's. Another giant in the world of shipbuilding, Henry Harland of Harland and Wolff. Andrews and Harland would have known each other well. Both had courted Nellie, who came from another prosperous family, the Barbours. On Friday, the 24th of March, 1906, Thomas proposed. By all accounts, Nellie was stunned into silence and didn't give him the answer he was so hoping for.
My dear Nellie, I cannot tell you how much it grieves me to feel that I frightened or gave you any annoyance last night. You acted wisely when you had any doubt. I am alone to blame. Your ever affectionate and loving friend, Thomas Andrews.
The story passed down is that Nellie couldn't decide on which suitor to marry until her mother made her choose. Nellie picked Thomas.
I recall our wedding at Lambeth Parish Church. It's beautiful. Something that I never thought Thomas would have had his hand in. He actually made suggestion as to the flowers that would be about my bridesmaids' canes.
How lovely.
And when we left, they made an archway, if you can imagine, as a church, a beautiful archway, and all the sweet pea and lily hanging down. There we left, and we began our new life. We were planning to go to Grenoble in Switzerland, and of course, upon our return, as you know, with being the wife of a naval architect, it is quite lonely at times. But I began to learn my way with our new home, Conway. Excuse me, I meant to say Dunallen. But remembering the way things were run at Conway, Mother treated our servants as servants and just that, and I thought to treat our servants as family, for they would be caring for my husband and I and possibly children in the future. Mother did not agree with this, but then again, as we know, Mother does not agree with very much. About this time, more had been responsibility given to Thomas, because as I'm sure Edward told you, Mr. Carlyle retired due to some discrepancies regarding other matters at the yard with Mr. Peary. And more time given to Thomas to take care of things. It's very lonely, Eunice, when Tom is away. I recall when I found I was expecting Elba. And you know the elation as a mother.
Yes.
Thomas took me to the yard, and overhead was Halley's Comet.
Really?
High in the sky, you remember?
Oh, I do.
With the stars.
You told me about this.
Yes.
You said, this is a very, very special omen about the birth of my daughter.
To see that high in the sky, and I believe you were on a voyage at the time.
I think so.
And I recall looking at that hull. It went up for eternity into the night sky. And I thought of how proud I am of him and his fellow workers, that they can build something so magnificent. Indeed, proud.
Now, did you go to see him off?
No, dear. I remember it was April 2nd. I did not feel well about this at all. Not only to be facing 26 days alone, Elba and I, without Thomas. I recall him putting his things together in his study. I thought to bury my head in my pillow, as if that would take it away. And when he was ready to leave, he came to me at my bedside, and he said, "Nellie, it's time for me to go." Eunice, I did not move. I buried my face in that pillow, and I heard him descend down those stairs. When I heard him practically reach our front doors, then I ran to him. I met him at the front door, and there he took my arm, my hand, and he put it over my heart. And he said, "Nellie, this is where I shall always be. I shall be home soon." I was strong. Very, very strong for him, and he for me. I saw the carriage take him away.
He became the hero of all Titanic's heroes, gallant to the end. Once he realized that the ship was doomed, Thomas Andrews met his fate bravely, giving up his own life to save other men's wives and children. That night, his own wife, Helen, or Nellie, slept oblivious to the horror unfolding in the icy Atlantic. Nellie was heartbroken, but chose not to focus on her own grief, but on the grief of others.
I think that she was totally devastated. She was so very fond of Tommy's parents. She described them as being her second mother and her second father. And she was just trying to console them when she herself must have been devastated.
April 25th, 1912. My own dearest second mother, I cannot speak, but I can only write and tell you that my whole being yearns for my darling, and my heart just aches and aches for you and my dear second father who have been so loving to us. If you only knew the love and admiration I have for you both and for my brothers and sisters at Ardara and Maxwell Court, that you should all have such an awful sorrow seems just too cruel beyond words. Your mutual love and devotion for each other richly deserved, that you should all be spared to each other for many, many years. For you are indeed the most united circle, I'm so sorry, I can't even speak, I have ever known. I think I know your pain, but oh, Aunt Lizzie, dear, we must not despair. Dear old Tommy could not bear to see anyone suffer, especially those he loved. His dear big heart was so tender to all who were in any trouble, and now that he cannot come back to us, let us cling the closer to each other and the little sweetheart baby girl he has left us. If there was anything that love or sympathy could do for you all, I would do it. When I come to you, I want you to feel absolutely free to speak of him, or not, as you may wish, whichever you really feel will help you most. My fondest love to you, dearest Aunt Lizzie, and Uncle Tom.
How beautiful.
Ever your loving Nellie.
Oh, Nellie.
My husband.
Oh, your dear husband.
And my dear Nellie.